guys, how are you doing? I'm Takashi from Japan. Now we are in Shinjuku, Saturday night, which is the busiest time of the week. It's crazy now. Today I'm with...
Vivid. I am a DJ and music producer living out here in Tokyo for 17 years.
So, Tokyo Nightlife expert, man.
Maybe.
So I think you're the best one to ask this question. We're gonna do nightclub tours in Tokyo. So we have 3 districts, basically Shinjuku, Shibuya, and Roppongi. And now we are in Shinjuku. What the nightlife is like in Shinjuku? What's the nightclub scene here?
Well, I mean, Shinjuku has a lot of tourist activities, a lot of bars, stuff like that. So if you're out here doing that, there are 2 nightclubs you can go to. It's Warp, Shinjuku. Warp is for more casual customers looking for like popular music, a little EDM. And then if you're into something deeper, Zero is going to be the spot to go to. You got techno, drum and bass, Japanese hip hop, those kind of things. In a few months though, very soon, there'll be 2 extra clubs, which we're going to talk about very soon.
Okay, let's do it. Warp Shinjuku is one of the biggest nightclub in Shinjuku area, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So what kind of music do they play? What kind of people do you recommend to come?
To be honest, probably the most popular nightclub in Japan, straight up. It's busy every single day of the week. So if you're here on a Tuesday or Wednesday, this club rocks.
I used to come here every weekend when I was a student.
It's very busy, so keep that in mind. Long line, so you gotta come early. There's 4 different floors. There's a big main floor, which is mostly EDM sounds. They have 3 other floors. The sounds change. Sometimes it's hard style, hip hop, drum and bass, techno, sometimes even K-pop or even J-pop. It really is a mixture of things, but basically the main floor is gonna be basically EDM. And that's also where you're gonna see me DJ as well.
Would you say that people who don't have specific, music taste, you can come here?
Absolutely, yeah. This is a great place to go. If you're not really sure where to party, but you want to have a good party, it's a good place to go. And it's not that expensive.
Yeah, I think it's relatively cheaper than... Yeah, that's why I used to go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's fun. It's a good mix of people. Maybe we talked about it earlier, but the mix of people here is very international. You got a lot of Japanese, young Japanese. You got a lot of tourists, host types, which is interesting. They don't go and party anywhere else, so it's quite fascinating.
Warp Shinjuku. Highly recommend it. So now we are at...
Zero Tokyo.
Okay, so Zero Tokyo, they opened last year, right? Many of my friends mentioned it's really good though. I haven't been there personally, but like, what's it like here?
Well, the club is gorgeous, but something very important to keep in mind, it's a rental hall. So every event is radically different. So you got to check the schedule. One night it could be techno, one night it could be drum and bass, one night like tonight could be Japanese hip hop with a very popular rapper, all kinds of things. So you really got to check the schedule. But once you get in, there's 3 floors, but they have like secret floors as well. But basically the main attraction is the main floor. Incredible sound. Whenever I DJ here, it's incredible. Important note about here, it is a cashless nightclub. Make sure you bring some kind of digital form of payment. But yeah, club is amazing.
Okay, so you need to check what kind of music they're gonna play.
It's radically different, so definitely check. And it's not open on the weekdays.
What do you think is different from other clubs here?
I would say it's probably the biggest nightclub in Japan right now, to be honest. It feels like when I'm at the bottom floor going all the way to the top to come out here, it's like back in the days at Agiha when you wanted to go from one side to the other side, it's like exhausting to get out of the club. It's very huge, it's amazing, it's gorgeous, sound is very good.
Zero Tokyo, highly recommend it.
Yeah.
So now we are in Roppongi. Could you explain what nightlife in Roppongi is like?
Well, Roppongi has changed a lot within the last 10 years. It used to be the main spot for all the best nightclubs in Tokyo. It's not quite the same anymore, but there are still a few clubs here that cater to mostly Japanese actually, but there are some after hours clubs here. There are some small bars that are kind of like clubs. There are mainly 3 nightclubs here in Roppongi. You got One Oak, V2, and Cell Octagon. Within those 3 nightclubs, you got hip hop, and V2 and Cell Octagon are basically EDM with some variations.
Okay. So I don't really come here Roppongi because it's too expensive, everything is expensive. Do you think the people who hang around here is richer or like older people?
That's kind of the classic image of Roppongi because you got Midtown, you got Roppongi Hills and all that, but honestly the clubs are not really that vibe at all. Maybe One Oak a little bit, but sometimes in the VIP you'll see some celebrities. V2, there's some high rollers, but really not quite what you think it is. It's more towards Shibuya actually.
Okay, yeah. Let's go. Okay, so now we are at
Wok Tokyo.
What's it like here?
Well, basically, it's an international brand. It's a hip-hop nightclub, and a lot of big celebrities come to this club. Jay-Z.
Was here yesterday.
Yes, and Rihanna. A bunch of big hip-hop acts also perform here as well. So keep an eye on their Instagram. And yeah, it's a cool club.
Is it more expensive than other clubs?
I mean, I think the cocktail is a little higher than some other venues, but it's a high-end nightclub. It's a cool vibe. Check it out if you're looking for like kind of a more premium hip-hop experience.
Wok Tokyo, highly recommended. Okay, so now we are at.
V2.
What's it like here?
This is kind of like a Japanese disco. It has a lot of different genres, but mostly EDM. It's several floors. The bottom floor, the basement, is where the EDM is going to be, confetti, all that stuff. The other floors are going to hear like things like hip hop. The system is very Japanese here. When I say the system, it's the VIP tables are a little complicated. The door system's a little complicated, but it's a good vibe. The DJs here I'm good friends with. It's a lot of fun.
What kind of people do you recommend to come?
This is similar to like Warp. If you don't really know what genre you want to listen to, it's a good starting point.
V2, highly recommended. So now we are at.
Sail Octagon. It's basically an EDM nightclub. They book a lot of big EDM DJs like Afrojack, Nicky Romero.
Skrillex.
They've had Skrillex before. I also play here frequently. It's a gorgeous nightclub. A lot of production lasers, CO2, confetti. You'll see a lot of celebrities here sometimes. It's very cool.
What kind of people do you recommend to come here?
Well, it's generally a lot of Japanese customers, but there are foreigners as well. If you love EDM, if that's your vibe,
EDM.
big festivals, this is amazing club for that.
Sail Octagon Tokyo, highly recommended. Okay, so now we are at.
Shibuya!
Yeah, I think personally craziest part of Tokyo. It's too chaotic. So what's it like nightlife in Shibuya here?
Shibuya is probably the best place for night clubbing in Tokyo or Japan. You got all the genres here. You got techno, you got hip hop, you got high-end nightclubs, you got EDM, you got Japanese disco, you got all kinds of stuff. It's amazing.
Everything.
You got everything here.
Okay, let's go. Before we continue interviews, this video is sponsored by Skew. Skew is a brand that specializes in CBD products. CBD or cannabidiol is a compound found in cannabis plants known for its potential health benefits, such as reducing anxiety and pain. Skew likely offers a range of CBD-infused products. They focus on quality, transparency, and innovation in their products to stand out in the competitive CBD market in Japan. Maybe you're thinking the CBD is illegal in Japan, but it is 100% legal. There are many CBD shops mainly in Tokyo, and I often go there when I want to relax. It is a new trend among young Japanese people. Why people choose Skew? Mainly there are 3 reasons. First, high quality ingredients. All ingredients are extracted from hemp grown in the States. Second, the quality of the products. They are extremely particular about their CBD ingredients, flavor, and designs. They spend several months selecting flavors and make dozens of prototypes to select the flavor they are most satisfied with. Third, a wide variety of flavors. By blending natural terpenes, they have recreated the flavor that is representative of cannabis. You can enjoy a fruity smoking experience. They plan to add more flavors soon. These are my favorite flavors. Oji Kush, fresh lemon and earthy pine scent with woody nuances, a reproduction of variety born in California. Hojicha, the unique deep flavor and the light sweetness of hojicha are in harmony, allowing you to enjoy the feeling of luxury puff. Lemon. It has a refreshing lemony acidity, a hint of bitterness, and a smoky, nutty flavor. If you like lemon, this is a safe choice. They don't ship internationally, but you can try it out when you come into Japan. You can receive the 40% discount on the Smarters set, which is 2,988 yen by using my coupon code. You can check it out in the link in the description. Okay, let's get back to interviews. So now we are at
C'est la vie.
Tel Aviv.
C'est la vie is a high-end nightclub. It's an international brand. You got one in Singapore, Taipei, maybe somewhere else. It's got a really amazing rooftop section. They have a DJ booth outside. In the summer, it's incredible. In the winter, it's a bit cold. They also have an indoor nightclub section. It's a bit small, to be honest, but it's cool. A high-end nightclub, great cocktails, dressed up for the club. They have a dress code for this club. Check it out.
C'est la vie, highly recommended. So now we are at
TK Shibuya. This is pretty much an EDM club. It's kind of a fancier Atam, which we're going to talk about later. It's kind of like a disco, kind of like V2, but a little bit more elevated. It's one floor. It's got great production, confetti, lasers. It's very cool.
What kind of people do you recommend?
Generally pretty young, but they are welcoming to foreigner guests as well. It's a cool club, and it's got one of the best locations of all nightclubs in Japan, right here on Senta. It's very easy, just like literally like a 2-3 minute walk from the Shibuya crossing, yeah.
TK, highly recommended. Okay, so now we are at
Baya. Again, it's another high-end nightclub. It's 3 floors. You got a really nice lounge on the bottom floor, high-end cocktails. Then you go up, you got your main floor. And then up on top, there's a rooftop. It's a cool vibe. Obviously, there's a lot of foreigners here, so it's that kind of vibe. It's welcoming for international guests. It's a lot of hip-hop here. Sometimes there's techno, but mostly hip-hop. It's a cool club.
I think this is the most photogenic nightclub in
agree.
Japan. It's
Yeah.
so cool, man.
The entrance is great. You'll see it a lot on Instagram and TikTok as well. This club is I see the most on TikTok, to be honest.
Baya, highly recommend it.
we go.
Okay, so now we are at
Club Camelot. It's a club that's been in Shibuya for about 15 years. The club is 3 floors. You got a really great hip hop floor. Below that, you have an EDM floor. They recently renewed that floor. It's pretty cool. Sometimes I DJ there as well. It's very dope. And then they have another floor, and sometimes you'll hear like K-pop, techno, all kinds of different. It's kind of a mix mash of things. But this is a great option if you're in Shibuya. Very foreign friendly.
what kind of people do you recommend?
Again, it's another all-genre club. If you like hip-hop, it's great. They have really good hip-hop DJs here. But if you like EDM, it's also very good. The DJs here are legends in this scene. They've been DJing for like 20 plus years, and they got young guys too. And then they got me. So you should definitely come.
Camelot, highly recommend it. Okay, now we are at
Atam Tokyo. It's one of the most popular nightclubs in Tokyo. It is 3 different floors. Each floor is a different genre, but the main floor is EDM. It has incredible production. There's lots of VIP tables. The DJs are amazing. This is kind of a legendary nightclub out here in Shibuya, and it's really fantastic on the weekdays. If you're out in Tokyo only during the week, this is a great option for partying.
what kind of people do you recommend?
Traditionally, this club is quite young. It has a bit of history for being quite young. It's open to foreigners and anyone of any age, but if you're not really sure what kind of genre you're into, you just want to dance, have a good time, Atom's a good starting point.
Atom, highly recommend it.
This is Harlem, right? It's the exact same building as Atom, actually. Harlem is probably the best, just straight up hip hop nightclub in Tokyo and maybe Japan. It's 2 floors. You got one main floor, and then you got the BX Lounge, which I like a lot. A different vibe, a bit like the main floor is a bit dark, and then you go to the BX Lounge. It's a good place to talk and have drinks.
Okay, so if you love hip hop party in Tokyo,
This is definitely a spot, and if you want to see the underground hip hop scene, this is where you go to get it. If you go to like the other clubs, it's a bit above ground, but this is where you're gonna find those event organizers making really dope hip hop events, incredible DJs. Definitely check it out.
Harlem, highly recommend it. Okay, so now we are at
Womb. This is one of the most famous nightclubs in Tokyo. At one point, it was even considered one of the most famous or best nightclubs in the world. The club is amazing. So this is where you're gonna find a lot of techno, drum and bass, dubstep, but it is a rental venue. It's not always the same parties, so you gotta check the schedule. Sometimes it's EDM, sometimes it's even Korean pop music. You really gotta check. But basically on the weekends, you can expect techno, house music, minimal kind of stuff. It is an incredible nightclub. If you're going out to Tokyo nightclubs, Womb should always be on your list for sure.
Womb, Shibuya. Highly recommend it. Okay, now we finished nightclub tour in Tokyo. Thank you for your time, by the way.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was great. It was great.
Any nightclubs that we missed?
Well, we missed the clubs in Ginza. There is 2 very good nightclubs in Ginza. First, you got Ray's. It's very high end. Got to dress up. Amazing nightclub. Then you got Wok Tokyo, another big chain, large nightclub. Sometimes you'll catch me DJing there as well. The club rocks. Definitely check it out. Then there's a club called Vent in Omotesando, kind of close to Shibuya. This is the kind of club you want to go to when you want that really underground sound. It's an amazing nightclub. Check it out.
Okay, so now let's talk about nightlife in Tokyo as a Tokyo-based DJ. First of all, what brought you here? What brought you to Japan? Yeah.
Well, originally I was a trance music producer in Seattle. And when I was going to university in Seattle, some of my music was signed to Japanese labels. Maybe some people might remember that trance was very popular in Japan. So I thought after I graduate, I would move to Tokyo and be some kind of trance superstar DJ. Didn't quite work that way, but that's what initially brought me to Tokyo.
So you mentioned that you've traveled all over Asia for DJing, right?
Yes.
China, like Taiwan, like Thailand, everywhere, right? So when it comes to nightlife, what are the differences from other big cities in Asia?
It's a great question. Every country is very different, actually. For example, in Thailand, the nightclubs have a lot of tables on the dance floor. Very different vibe. And in South Korea, the clubs are kind of small now. The DJ booth is kind of in the middle of the dance floor and everybody's around the DJ booth. But in general, I can say, to be honest, the nightclubs in Tokyo, Osaka, Japan, right now are the best in Asia, straight up. Tokyo is going through a nightclub renaissance. Brand new clubs are opening all the time. They're big, they're full of people, they dance all night. It's incredible. But don't get me wrong, I do love Taipei and all these other cities. Singapore is great. Hong Kong's amazing. I love Hong Kong. Small nightclubs, but it's fun.
If you say Tokyo nightlife is special, why do you think it's special?
It's very welcoming to foreigners, actually. Other countries, sometimes you can't get in if you're a foreigner, which is crazy. Straight up.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to say those countries' names, but yes. And they're very welcoming to foreigners because, in general, foreigners will pay full door price. They'll buy 4 drinks at the bar.
So you DJing all over Japan, right?
Yes.
Not just Tokyo. Other than Tokyo, what city has the best nightlife? Yeah.
Well, it's definitely Tokyo is number one. Some people will say Osaka. Osaka is great, don't get me wrong. But the amount of variety in Osaka does not compare to Tokyo. We just got a lot of great techno clubs here. Osaka's got like 2. A lot of hip hop here. Good hip hop clubs in Osaka as well. But in general, Tokyo, in my opinion, is the best in Japan. But there's other cities you got to check out. Fukuoka is amazing. Nagoya is crazy. Kumamoto has a great club called Space. And Okinawa has a few clubs. Okinawa has Epica and Top Tree. So, yeah, but there's a lot of great cities. Oh, Kyoto. Oh, Kitsune.
Is Kyoto good?
Yeah, it's great. I'll DJ there next week.
I think not many people imagine Kyoto has nightclubs though because of the image of Kyoto.
It's got a history of nightclubs. Kyoto World is a legend nightclub out there. And there's Kitsune, which is kind of like a Japanese disco EDM, kind of like the other clubs we saw tonight. And I also DJ there.
Okay. I assume you experienced a lot of things. Sure. Past 17 years as a DJ in Tokyo. Anything you want to share?
Wow. Well, there's many things to say. Well, I guess we could talk about manners. I mean, I think, to be honest, most of the foreigners coming here and partying are polite. But sometimes drinking, get a little aggressive to the ladies, be gentle, or you get kicked out of the club.
What about tattoos?
So tattoos, that's a great question. If you would have asked me this question before COVID, I would say definitely cover your tattoos for all the clubs in Japan. But in Tokyo, there's a bit of a change. Some nightclubs are allowing tattoos to be shown. You can check the websites. You can see the official policy. Sometimes they say it, sometimes they don't. In general, I think it's a safe bet just to cover it up. But, if it's an international club like One Oak or C'est La Vie, you're probably fine.
What about entrance fee and stuff? Price compared to other countries?
Well, I mean, to be honest, what's interesting about Japanese club scene, the prices of the door and the cocktails hasn't changed that much. It's been like 700 yen-ish for years. And the door price has always been like anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000. Sometimes when you have a really big artist, the price might be higher. But I think if you're coming from abroad, the Japanese yen is so weak right now. Where it's not cheap is the VIP. Be cautious about the VIP. It's a little confusing. The way it works here is when you book a VIP table, it's usually a 2-hour or 1-hour system. And then if you go beyond that, they charge you more. And then you got to buy a certain amount of bottles. And then the brutal part is they put a service charge on top of that. Then there's tax. It's very confusing. You'll look at a menu, but it's definitely not what you're going to be paying. So just keep that in mind. It can get quite expensive, especially at the really high-end clubs. But I think in general, it's going to be much cheaper than a Las Vegas club for sure.
Could you promote yourself? One of the best DJs in Tokyo, yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, but honestly, I'm more of a music producer. Maybe a lot of you may already know my music. Hardwell just played my song at Ultra Miami on the main stage. It's a big moment. But I'm a music producer first, honestly, and then I DJ. You can catch me DJing around Tokyo. Check my socials, you'll see me posting all that. And I hope to rave with you soon.
Yeah. If you're coming to Tokyo, please enjoy your nightlife here. We got one of the best nightlife culture in the world, man.
Yeah, it's very good.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. じゃあまた。